I have taken this quite literally for today. So we're on day 3 of Aligned to Share, writing from your yes. And it's a reflection day. And I said in the email to curl up in the spot that you feel really comfy, that feels like safety. And so here I am. I'm in my bed. I've got my favorite house sweater on. This is the sweater that I remember I got it in the fall of 2020 and I wore it during the pandemic. It is like wearing a hug to me. So I have total safety with this, but I've doubled up because I've literally taken this to, I do this frequently in my work anyway. It's the benefit of working from home. I have my favorite blankie here, and luckily it's summer here in California, in Los Angeles, but it's also early morning, and early morning it tends to be a little bit cooler. So where I live in Glendale, and so I'm all cozied up. I'm literally holding my microphone and my laptop is on my knees. Not the ideal setup to do a video, but here I am. I'm practicing what I preach and just sharing it with you. This is just the real me, the real goofy me. Okay, so the instructions for today are to look at which topics and which ones feel like a little bit panicky, a little bit urgent, a little bit rushed, or you just got to get them done. And maybe, sometimes I feel like rushed, panic, and urgent, they feel like really strong words. And so you don't have to necessarily think about it in that way. It could just be, like you feel like you have to move forward. And whether you want to think performance or pressure or they're pulling you in, and something of that sort. And then which ones feel like breathing or spaciousness, or they feel true, or they might even feel a little bit on the, like a whisper, almost like quiet, like, this one's really being quiet over here and it's not really saying much. But my mind keeps going to it. My attention keeps going to it. And so we're just noticing. We're not going to actually fix anything. So I'm going to go through my list and I'm just going to look at it and I don't have to read it out loud, but I'm going to read it out loud because you don't know what's on my list otherwise. So I'm going to go through each one of these and I'm just noticing. I'm not actually marking anything on my paper like I did yesterday. Here's my paper. And so here we go. I'll just tell you whether I notice anything of that sort. So experience emotions without words. Yeah, I feel a little bit of, I don't know why. I feel a little bit of urgency on that one. And it feels like, but I just need to share my knowledge. That's what it feels like. It feels like, but I got to get my knowledge out there. That's the kind of the way that it feels. So I'm just noticing that. That's all. It's interesting for me because I wasn't expecting that. Then my inner yes starts with picking a pen color or a font. And it feels juicy, yummy, like a piece of candy. That's what it feels like to me. I'm not very good sometimes with using actual emotion words. I tend to make them up, and you can too. Coffee tastes better, richer in a white cup. It feels safe. It feels easy, like it just feels safe. A lot you could do with that one. It also feels like connecting, because I feel like a lot of people they might agree or they may disagree, or maybe they don't know, but it feels like coffee is a connector, right? Doodle bird magic. Oh, it's one that does light me up. It does get me excited about it. But it also feels like not urgent, but it also feels, I don't know if forced is the right word, but it doesn't feel as smooth into content sometimes. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. I'm not sure. Left-hand writing reveals ideas. This one feels like lickety-split smooth, which is funny because I wrote down a no yesterday on it. But it doesn't feel urgent, but it feels like it has motion already within it. Minimal decor leads to clearer mind. Gosh, it feels kind of sluggish. It doesn't feel spacious. Let's say that. I won't sell in the DMs. Oh my gosh, that just feels freeing. That feels like I could breathe a lot of breath into that. Which is interesting because yesterday I put yes and maybe. So it's interesting now to hear what that internal yes and no, what that felt like, but now also noticing, whether I'm a different person today, I'm in a different environment. And so you can get different results and stuff. And we will make sense of all of this, I promise. But it's interesting, all the ones, how you get this sense of time element that goes along with it, I guess. Okay. How to ignite the neural network or a neural network, your neural network with just one word. To me, that just feels spacious. It's expansive, like almost like firework is the way that my emotions tell me. That's not an emotion word, but why I smile every day wiping toothpaste off the sink. Oh, that's just like sparkling, glistening, like it doesn't feel urgent. It just feels like fun. It feels like in the moment, in the now kind of thing. I've had 2 pigeons fly into my head. Oh, that feels like there's so much there that you could breathe into. I remember I was giggling yesterday, I think, on that one. I really like that one. I never step on a crack, and if I do, I need to balance it. It feels kind of like blockish, like it doesn't feel urgent, like I need to do anything with it, but it also doesn't feel like it's expanding anything. I have blank cubic feet of yarn, less than I used to. Less than before. Again, it feels kind of like a rock. I only use Mac, and here's why. It's wired in tune to my frequency with connectivity. That feels like there's something sparkly there. Like there's something interesting about it. It doesn't feel like I urgently have to share it, but it feels interesting. And I have X number of shoes, but I only wear 4 of them. There's no urgency there. It feels kind of stable, but it doesn't necessarily feel sparkly either. Do I want a free or paid lead magnet? Wow, there doesn't even feel urgency. It feels like that. Yeah, that's something I would like to answer for myself, but it doesn't matter when I do. So there you go. That is our step number 3. And I did put a note in the email that for all you overachievers, so an extra step if you want to go through and do it. So you can go check your email and you can do that part. I'm not going to do that. I'm sometimes I'm so much an overachiever, like why I had to put 15 things because there's 15 slots. But sometimes I try to practice of, you know what? No, I did what was recommended. I don't have to go for the A++. And so that's how I'm doing this round for myself. But if you're interested in that, you can go to your email and check it out. And if for some reason you're joining and you're like, oh, this is interesting. What are you doing here? I'll put a link so you can join, because sometimes people end up getting on the video, they find it, or somebody shares it with them, and you're like, what is this? So I'll put a link that you can join. We're doing a 5-day email sequence that helps you to attune to your inner yes. And it's all about coming up with content for how to write about whatever your business is, whatever your personal branding, your visibility, how we can add to topics to that. That's just the format that we're using. That's what you come with, I guess, sort of a tangible outcome, but really what you're coming away with is how to know what your yes and no is. We're just using that context. I guess that's a better word for it. Context. There you go. The context is coming up with topics to use in your social media posts that you can use to enhance whatever it is that you do for business or whatever your purpose is for writing content, making videos, whatever it happens to be. But we're doing this from align first, strategy second. And so we're focusing just on the alignment, and it's free, and it's like I said, a 5-day email sequence. And I've just been making these videos because I'm going through it for the 4th time. And hey, I'm Tricia Edwards, in case you don't know who I am. And you're more than welcome to come and join us.